You got to be a constant learner in any business, athletics. You got to learn. We come off the field from Saturday and study the tape on Sunday. You got to learn. There's mistakes there. There was mistakes after loss. You got to continually learn from wins or losses, and it's a process. I wish say you're there. No, it continues to be a process. Our kids understand that. Are we where we need to be? We're not. You go out on a Tuesday and go have the best practice you possibly can have. And last week it was funny. On Wednesday, I'm sitting watching film in the staff rooms, OD staff rooms, and Coach Tressel, he always knows when to make a right appearance. But shared with me, and I shared with our kids even Sunday, and he shared with me a Winston Churchill quote, that the gravest danger is the illusion that all is well, when indeed all is not well. Meaning, win, lose, guess what? We got 120 kids in that locker room, 18 to 24-year-olds that every week after a win, after a loss, they got stuff going on in their lives, and our job is to make sure that we continue when we come in here to make sure, are they hurting? Where's their mindset? Are they getting ready for a football game? Is something going on outside of their life? So, you got to come in, even after a win, it's all, well, no, there's some things that we got to fix. And, we got to work on the consistency, part of it that, consistently can we go week in and week out, knowing that every team brings a different challenge. What South Dakota to Illinois State, different set of challenges that you got to adapt to. Then you get in the game, you see how the plan is, and sometimes you throw that plan out. You got to be a problem solver. You go in at halftime. You got to make some adjustments, and the teams that can make the best adjustments are usually the teams that are going to be able to win in the fourth quarter. And, I was proud of our coaching staff, that we were able, gave up 28 points, but, held them to 10 in the second half. And that 10, holding them to 10, gave us the 13 we needed to be able to win. And so, it's a team effort. I wish we're not there yet. It's a process. We're going to learn from that, and we got to be a lot better when we show up Saturday at 2 o'clock against the Bears.
You talk about being constant learners. Do you use what happened last year at Missouri State as a teaching point this season for, hey, small mistakes, and all of a sudden something big can happen?
Yeah, you look, and I don't know if I specifically, but I think our kids learned the hard way last year that, if you go and you're not playing superior special teams at the end of October and November, it's going to cost you. Well, we weren't even close to superior special teams last time we played Missouri State. We had some costly mistakes that cost you, that can add up. Not one play can win or lose you a game, but you start adding up those plays, they can certainly put you in a hole where you don't have an opportunity to win the football game. So, yeah, I think our kids learned the hard way. That was a learning thing that we probably hit home more in the spring, more during camp. Right now it's about next up is the most important. Missouri State's the most important game, and they're a different team than they were last year. I think we're a different team than we were last year, but certainly, the mistakes we made in that game cost us, and, we got to make sure that we don't make those same mistakes each and every Saturday.
What have you seen from Missouri State on film last year?
I mean, they're explosive. They got great receivers, the Kareem Owens, I think that's Terrell Owens' son. I haven't confirmed it, but someone told me that. But they got great receivers. They got great inside slot, that can make things happen. Raylan Sharp. They got Jamara Robinson, number 0. They got Tariq Owens. They got a quarterback, backup quarterback that came in, court transfer from Minnesota, got hurt. I don't know when he can come back, but they went and got a junior college young man from California, and he's been a gunslinger for him and throwing at a high efficiency. When you look at our quarterbacks in our league and you compare them to national FCS, I think 7 of our quarterbacks in our league are in the top 10 as efficient quarterbacks. So, we're going against great quarterbacks week in and week out. And this is certainly, they lead the league in passing offense, Missouri State does. Defense, and they got size. I mean, when I look at their offensive line, and it's a new offensive line, they did a tremendous job of, developing the kids that they had, or maybe bringing in a player that they needed. But, you're talking 6'6", 6'7", 330, 345 pounds. They got a 6'1", 220-pound tailback. So they're a complete team that can hit you in the runs, and they can spread it out and throw it. Defensively, they're big. They got athletic defensive ends that can get after your quarterback. They got 4 310-pound plus kids that can play tackle inside. And their secondary we're very familiar with, because it's the same secondary that I thought came last year and really did a great job against us. So, this certainly is a great challenge this week.
After watching the tape, your secondary, what improvements you looking to make this week? Because they do like to throw the ball.
I think the second half, you saw those improvements. You saw us defending, getting the ball loose in the end zone. Where the first half, he catches it. Second half, we're getting hands in. So it's technique. It's guys. Troy Jacobek got an interception in the second half, deflected, had some pass breakups, in the second half. So I think our kids settled in and was able to handle second half maybe a lot better than what they handled the first half. And I'm proud of how they reacted, because, when you give up those plays, that's not easy. And be able to have a quick memory and forget about that and go on to the next play, I was proud to see. And we threw a lot of different guys, which, we're putting as many guys out there that we feel can cover and make those plays. And, I certainly believe that they can. I have all the faith in the world that they can. And I saw that improvement in second half, and I want to continue to see it today in practice when I go watch film. I want to see it tomorrow, and I want to see it appear on Saturday.
Dre really, come on the last couple of weeks with back-to-back 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think kind of allowed him to thrive and partnership that he has with Tyson in the backfield?
Being healthy. Trey battled, a lower body injury through camp. And, I started seeing the bounce in his step, the explosion and the power that he was running with a few weeks ago, even going into the South Dakota game. And, so you see that in practice, and you kind of know. I think him being healthy and feeling good, and, the offensive line being able to open some holes. And, those holes, sometimes you got to be patient. You're waiting and waiting, and that burst is what gets you through that hole, and you're splitting defenders. I thought Tyshawn did a great job splitting defenders when he needed to get those extra yards. And our receivers are doing a great job blocking downfield. That goes unnoticed. Those guys, when you're running the football, they're not catching the football. But them getting a body on safeties and corners is probably something nobody even looks at. We do. We take great pride in that. And when you see explosive runs, there's a reason. It's because your receivers are blocking the secondary downfield. So we'll need to continue to see that.
Like you've won 9 and 10 at home, 2 in a row at home now. Just that momentum in playing at home, the importance of that home field.
Yeah, and I'll take what Dre said. I mean, every game's important. Home, away. Do we love being at home? Yeah, we do. Love the crowd, love our atmosphere. We need a great crowd. Our kids really get excited, when there's a great student section. You got your band playing, and you got your fans behind you. And, we practice each and every day out on that field. And, for us, yeah, it's home. But every game in this league, you got to win every game. You got to win every game. There's a lot of teams sitting there right in the middle. And after this week, some are going to make the climb up, and some are going to make the climb down. And you're fighting for 60 minutes plus if it takes, 4 quarters plus if it takes, to make sure that you're heading in the other direction. And you're finding a 2-2 team coming in versus a 2-2 team. And they've been great games, the last 2 years. And they got great special teams. I want to mention that. They got the best punter, kicker, they phenomenal special teams. And I thought their special teams last year was the difference in the ball game.
Did they change much, with new coach and all that?
No, they kept the same coaches, and he's done a great job. Coach Beard has done a great job. Bobby Petrino left, but, his son-in-law, who was there, took over. And, those guys have done a phenomenal job. Their offensive coordinator's doing a great job, defensive coordinator. So they continue to where they are. And they do a great job recruiting and getting players in there. I mean, they are athletic. When I say athletic, big, Missouri Valley Football Conference team that you'll see. And, they probably look back on their season and, where they need to make the improvements, but they understand they're in the process right now and they're trying to put it all together just like we're trying to put it all together.
When did Coach come talk to you?
It's Wednesday. I think Wednesday it was. Yeah, Wednesday. So, again, unexpected, but sometimes he always knows the right time. So trust me, you have mentors, and, I got a lot I lean on. People say, I'm on the phone, if it's not, Coach Tressel, I mean, he's got a lot of guys he keeps track of. I talk to Coach Fickle every week, and we both were coming off losses, and we both were playing the state of Illinois last week. He was playing the Illini, and we were playing Illinois State, and Truss is like, let's beat the state of Illinois. So
You talk a lot to guys that are in the fraternity. Is that kind of common?
you the ones that you're closest to, the ones, and I have the two I really lean on is, probably Luke and, Coach Tressel. I'll reach out to Coach Freeman, but everyone's busy. So, they don't want to hear my complaints or, and really it is. And what you find out, and I told this to my staff, regardless of where you're at, you could be on a 12-game winning streak. And guess what? You probably have the same problems that you would have if you're 1-11. That's college football. So every week you come in, you better know what your kids are thinking. You better know what their mindset's ready to do, and you better get them ready to play a tough opponent. And that's the challenge each and every day. So you got to look in their eyes. You got to walk through the locker room. You got to see who's hurting. You got to see, and you got to get that right by Saturday. And that's the challenge we have. I know people think it's X's and O's and all that stuff, but, just making sure an 18 to 23-year-old is ready to play football with a lot of different things going on in their lives. It's a lot of kids in that locker room. My job's make sure that everything is well and they're ready to attack the day.